Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Facebook Live with yours truly, Sarah Gaston. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh my goodness. Am I looking in the right spot? No, I think I'm supposed to look over here. My camera is all turned around because I'm talking on my phone. There. I think that's where I'm supposed to be looking. Anyway, hi. Can we just say all this rain has made me a little floopy, as you probably are feeling that way as well. Anyway, welcome to another Facebook Live where I will answer your questions live about the art and craft of acting. But as per usual, I have a topic that I want to lead off with today, and that is actors and money. So nothing chills me more than to have a young, and when I say young, I just mean a new actor, come to me and say, you know, I'm going to really work hard at this for 6 months and maybe a year, and then by then I just want to do acting and nothing else. Because here's the thing, I have never ever known that to happen. Okay, so I saw a great illustration recently, and it was 2 graphs, and one was the way an actor thinks their acting career is going to go, and it's sort of this line being steadily drawn upward, and then the other graph was how an actor's career really goes, and it was like it's all over the place, and that's basically what it is. Hello Joseph, hello Christine, hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. And that's actually really accurate, because if you actually read actor biographies, or if you do a little research, you'll find that even our most well respected and well regarded actors had times when it just went to hell in a handbasket. Katharine Hepburn was fired from an early job. One critic said she had all the emotional range to go from A to B. I think another person at some point, hey Christina, I think at one point somebody might have called her box office poison, because that's when the critics really wanted to get you when you were a movie star. Back when the studio system was running strong, that's what they would call you, box office poison. And so anyway, so we have this fantasy that if we reach a certain level of skill, or if we book a few jobs, that all of a sudden it's going to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. And that's just not the case. And so I want to talk to you about the idea of having a bridge job. And so what that means is you have something to pay the bills, so that you are not constantly stressing about when you're going to get your next acting job. There are different opinions about this. This is just my opinion, and this is my opinion based on observation and experience, because what happens when we rely solely on the world of acting to provide for us, we become desperate. And so what we might do is we might undervalue ourselves and take a job just for the money, but we're still not really getting paid what we deserve. We might take a job that is below our skill level, or in a project that we're not really going to be proud of, or that maybe we won't even tell anyone about because we have to pay the bills. We're going to walk into an audition situation and we're going to reek of desperation, because we've got to get this job, I don't know if some of you may have been fans of the musical A Chorus Line, but there's a song called God, I Hope I Get It. And it's, that may not be the exact title, but that was the whole thing. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. I really need this job. Yeah. And so that's the thing, is you kind of find yourself living in this state of quiet desperation, wondering when the next job is going to come in. Hustling up jobs that you don't really want, because that's all you're focused on. And you have this idea, hey Jason, no worries, hey Joe. So you have this idea that if you're not doing that, you're a failure. And that's just crazy town, because this is not like being a lawyer or being a doctor or being an engineer, where there is a straight shot And if you check all these boxes, you are guaranteed an income. It's just not. But we have an expectation that we should be guaranteed an income. Hello, Carl. And, you know, Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this in her book, Big Magic, which I have a video on YouTube that talks about 4 books that all actors should read that have nothing to do with acting, and that's one of them, because she talks about the fact that when she was quite young, I think she was about 15, she knew she wanted to be a writer, and she made a deal with her writing. She had a little ritual and everything that she would never expect her creativity to support her, that she would always support the two of them. And so for many, many years before she started getting paid as a writer, I think it was about 20 years before she first got paid, she waited tables, and she was a nanny, and I think she was an assistant, and she did all these different things to help support herself so that she just didn't have to fret about it. And here's the thing, when we are worried about money, it takes up, hey Craig Daly, it takes up a lot of bandwidth, and we cannot do our best work because we are too preoccupied with the anxiety around how am I going to pay my mortgage, how am I going to pay my bills, how am I going to pay my car note, if you have kids, how am I going to feed my kids, that sort of thing. So I really advise you, you know, and again, there are different schools of thought. This is just my personal experience and observation. You know, your mileage may vary. I'm not saying you have to choose another occupation. If you want to be an actor, totally go for it. But don't feel ashamed to have something else to get you through the lean times so that you are not just putting too much pressure on yourself to take any job that comes along. It's just not, it's in my experience, it's just not a healthy way to live. You don't do your best work, and etc., etc., etc. I feel like I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but I feel like that's so important, and I just hear so many actors voicing that fantasy or that expectation. Now, here's the thing. You also have to treat it like it is your own business, right? So if you say work as a waiter or an administrative assistant, and you want to start a restaurant, or you want to start a business where you sell cupcakes out of your home, you still need to work really, really hard at your cupcake business or whatever it is that is your side business that you're trying to grow while you still work at your other job. The other thing that I see happen is that people will take a job and that becomes their primary focus, and then they never have time to go on auditions. They can't get away to go on auditions. They don't have the energy to do good work if they book something, because now they've devoted all their time to this other career. That's not the same as having a bridge job. That's just making a choice to put acting in the back seat. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with this, but you have to treat it like a small business or like your job, and it's something you're gonna have to work really hard and really diligently at in order to see any success, even if it has to be kind of on the side. I saw a tweet a few months ago from Lin-Manuel Miranda, who, unless you've been living under a rock, you know he wrote and starred in Hamilton and In the Heights. And he was a substitute math teacher for 5 years while he was writing In the Heights. I don't quite know what his financials were once, you know, In the Heights took off, but, you know, he was at work, right? He was making things happen. He wasn't just kind of sitting around hoping for the best while he had this other job. He was also creating his own content, and he was making a vehicle that he knew as a writer would get him some exposure. And of course in Hamilton he's created an extraordinary character for himself, extraordinary piece of theater, you know, and he's really parlayed that into now a really, really lovely career. But there was a lot of work on his end to create something to showcase what he was good at. So that's also something we need to take into consideration. Hello everyone. Anyway, off my soapbox about having alternative forms of income. That's a song that was cut from Hamilton that y'all didn't know about. Anyway, okay, it's question time, because you know, if you know me at all, I will not yammer on and on just for the sake of hearing myself talk. Couple of things, couple of housekeeping things while I'm waiting for the brilliant, insightful questions to come scrolling in. The Super Colossal scholarship contest is still going on through the end of September. You can check it out in my Facebook thread. You can check it out on my coaching page. You can check it out on my website. But I've got information about how to get a scholarship if you would like one. You can get 4 free classes, and I'm giving away 4 of them all through the fall. And yeah, let's see. Jason Ration has a question. This happens a lot and I don't understand. I'll post I'm holding auditions for a film, and I'll get an email from an actor stating that the project, film, and roles sound interesting. Sorry, it's cut off. Okay, let's try this. And how excited they are, and then they don't show up. No phone call or email informing me they can't make it. I'd like your opinion on this. Also, does anyone... Okay. You know, I hate to say it, a lot of actors are flaky. A lot of actors will flatter a director because they think it will do them some good. But I can't really speak to why people don't do what they say that they're going to do. I mean, I think it's kind of just, honestly, in general, kind of an epidemic in our society that people don't have a lot of integrity around their word. So I can assure you that I don't see this just in casting situations which you're talking about. I encounter it as a coach. I encounter it as an actor myself. So there could be a million reasons. I wish I could speak to that. I would say, you know, just put a mental note. You know, when somebody does something like that around me, I put a mental note, or actually write a note in Outlook and just make a note that this person kind of flaked out. They said they were going to do something, they didn't, and so I just have sort of a record. And it's not, I mean, it's not a blackmail list, right? But it's, or a blacklist, I should say, a blackmail list. It's just so that I know. It's like, okay, that person, maybe that was a one-off, or maybe this person, this is kind of their MO. So I know it's frustrating, and I wish I had a better answer. Joe says he encounters it too, absolutely. I mean, I'm astounded, and you know, Joe and I talked about this last week in the 10 mistakes actors make, and Joe and I did a follow-up video on that as well, that casting directors see it, and agents see it, and it's a real shortcoming of actors just not to communicate what their plans are, if they've changed their mind, if they can't make it, etc. And you're absolutely right. You deserve some sort of explanation, and I wish I had a better answer for you. So, all right. Linda DuPont asked about getting over stage fright. Absolutely. I actually addressed that a couple of weeks ago in a Facebook Live. So if you go to my Facebook, and I tagged Linda and I sent her the video, but I actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago in my Facebook Live. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I believe it's the one that talks about comedy. And it's just from a couple of weeks ago, and I talk at length about different ways of dealing with stage fright there, because it is pretty common. And you know, I'll just tell you honestly, just very, very succinctly, being prepared and doing it over and over are honestly the keys, because I don't get stage fright really much anymore because I've done it so much, and also I go in prepared. I feel confident that I know what I'm doing. The main thing that I'll say, Jason, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I'll just say that I just see a lot of actors that don't prepare. You know, they come in to tape an audition, they're not prepared. Back when I used to help out with casting, people would come in not prepared, and then they're frazzled because they don't know what they're doing. And the bottom line is, that's on us. That's on us. Nobody can control that. So actors, first of all, make sure you know what you're doing. So get some coaching, get in a class, make sure you understand your craft, right? So that you can feel not rattled about anything. and prepare. That's really the simple answer. So, you know, the reason I've said this before, Tony Robbins has said this, and I don't know if he originated it or if he got this from somebody else, but the reason somebody, you know, when we see somebody excelling, what they're practicing in public, what they've practiced hundreds of times in private. So it's no accident that certain people seem to have a facility with something, whether it's public speaking or acting or dancing or football or whatever, because they've done the work. They've done the work. Read Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, which he talks about the 10,000 hours it takes of work to develop mastery. Again, that's on my video of 4 books that have nothing to do with acting that all actors should read. Because again, I think there's a misconception a lot of times with acting. We look at it and we think, hey, these people are walking and talking at the same time. I can do that. And it's much harder than it looks, because you're not just walking and talking at the same time. You're thinking about 16 other things, like where the camera is and where your mark is, and you're trying to block out all the distractions because you're seeing a PA over there and they're on their phone playing Angry Birds. And you know, you hopefully don't have to think about your lines, but you might be thinking about your lines, and then you're thinking about the inner life of your character, and there are a million things to think of. And if you haven't done all the work to set that up for yourself, you're going to be scared. You're going to be scared because any little thing will throw you off. Okay, enough about that. Other questions, thoughts, feelings, comments? Because you know, as I always like to say, time is our most precious and unrenewable resource. So I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to talk more than is helpful for you. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. So I'll give you a little bit of information. Again, Super Colossal Scholarship Contest is going on until the end of September. Get your videos in. Please be sure and send me a link to Vimeo or YouTube. Please don't just send me the file because I can't watch it that way. It needs to be a link. And I have plenty more of acting tips and some, you know, coaching tips and helpful information on my YouTube channel, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will get the information just as soon as it drops. Sometimes I don't announce videos, or sometimes I don't announce them until a couple of weeks later. So if you want first access and you want first notification, being subscribed to my YouTube channel is the best way to get it. And you can always, and this is what I really encourage you to do, sign up for my email list, which you can do on my website, www.sarahgaston.com. The reason is there are things that I share there, like, you know, an article on how to get over audition nerves, things like that, that I don't share anywhere else. It's just for my email subscribers. Sometimes I share audition information. By the way, speaking of that, if you saw my post about the Dirt Dogs audition and Twilight 1992 Los Angeles, and you had trouble getting through to that email address, I apologize. I simply conveyed the information that I was given. So when you come up across something like that, like if I send out a post for another project, I'm not responsible for that project. I can't answer questions for it. So you always want to go back to the source. So if for some reason that email doesn't work, go to the website and for that particular company, find out their contact me information and contact them that way. I don't have any control over that because it's not my personal project. You know, clearly somebody made an error when they made the post. It's unfortunate, but do your due diligence and make sure you contact them because that's who you're going to be interfacing with. Hello, Annalyn. Hi. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else I want to share with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have a brilliant insight 5 minutes after we say goodbye, please feel free to put it in the comments. You can always message me in any form or fashion in order for, you know, between now and next Wednesday to ask me a question. And any questions I get after the fact, I simply funnel into the next session. So feel free to do that. I'm here to support you in any way that I can. You know, this is we're dealing with a really tough time in the world, and I just kind of am doing this to sort of create a sense of connection and community, and you know, we're all in this together. You know, I was fortunate enough to participate in Main Street Theater's BYO Bard the other night, and it was just a bunch of actors, you know, and we were doing monologues from Shakespeare. And I say just like that's not important. You know, we had quite a few people just join us on Zoom. But you know, it was just nice to have that sense of community and connection with fellow artists, you know, and we were just doing monologues on Zoom. And you know, we need that right now, right? We need that support, we need that connection, because sometimes it feels like it's all over. It's not. We're in a big pause right now, and it's scary and it's frustrating, but it's just a big pause, I promise. And so hang in there. Feel free to join me every Wednesday, or contact me outside of Wednesday times to give me your questions. All right, friends. Oh, you're very welcome, Annalyn. It's truly, truly my pleasure. All right, guys, have a lovely rest of your day, and stay dry if you are in the Texas, Louisiana area. Bye.